As 2022 approaches with a lot of promising animes like Bleach's 1000-Year Blood War and Jujutsu Kaisen's Shibuya arc, everyone has been so excited for what the new year has to bring, but I've been kinda different for a long time. Almost 2 years in fact, now that I think about it. I've been going through so much of an anime burnout that it's actually quite funny I've been able to post on an anime YouTube channel all this time. But actually that's why I haven't been posting frequently. Essentially killing this YouTube channel very slowly. I'd always find an excuse as to why I couldn't post, like, oh, I had to study for exams, or I needed a better microphone, or I've been very busy, when that was just all me giving excuses not to make content. Because at the back of my head I felt so undeserving. I felt dishonest constantly posting anime content when in truth I probably haven't sat down and watched a whole anime ever since 2019. Like, that's how long it's been, and here we are, it's almost 2022. But I guess I have some explaining to do. So before I actually explain, I have to first give some lore as to what happened, how, why, and basically everything. So in 2016, that was the time when I truly properly got into anime, because I had met amazing friends in high school, like, who were just serious anime fanatics. Like, shout out to my friend Charles. And at the time I didn't have Wi-Fi, so the only way I'd have access to anime was through Charles. He would download anime for me on Kiss Anime and then put it on a flash drive for me to watch, because I had no other way. And anime was such a huge passion for me at the time, because I think Tokyo Ghoul was like the first non-mainstream, I guess, mainstream anime that I had watched at the time. So I had a huge passion. I'd go to Charles would put it on a flash drive, give it to me, I'd go at home and I'd just watch it. And those were honestly my fondest memories of those years. So back then I would only watch animes that Charles had watched, or animes that I requested him to download for me. And that was until I had gotten a 2TB hard drive from one of my ex-girlfriends that actually changed my entire life, actually, thinking back on it. I know it sounds drastic, but it actually did change my life looking back at it. Now, if you watch like one of my previous videos, my 1000 subscriber special, I had mentioned this exact same ex as the inspiration as to why I started this whole YouTube channel in the first place. And I actually meant that she was so much help for this YouTube channel in more ways than one, and I never actually had a proper chance to thank her for it. Like, if she didn't give me that 2TB hard drive, I wouldn't have been exposed to a wider spectrum of anime. Like, that was actually a very eye-opening type of experience, which actually really made me want to create content, which is why I did when I first started this channel, because I had so much access to anime and I was just like, I have to talk about this to someone, because I couldn't talk about it to anybody a lot of the times. So I was able to post weekly content just because I was so eager. I had wide access to anime that I could just sit down and binge. I still remember the days when I used to watch like 9 animes in 7 days because I was that excited by anime. Then all of a sudden that all changed in 2019. So what happened in 2019 is I was at school with some friends, because at the time I had filled up the hard drive, the 2TB hard drive, and I had taken up like 600 gigs worth of space just filled with only anime. And then something happened, I forgot what it was, but something happened which caused me to like slightly drop the hard drive on the floor. And that small fucking drop was enough to fuck up my entire life. Like, now thinking about it, it really screwed me over, and it was just enough to immediately damage the hard drive. Like, that hard drive was dead, so I just lost my will to watch anime. The moment that hard drive died, so did my will to watch anime. That hard drive had so much anime that I hadn't even picked up yet, let alone finished. So when it died, my heart sank and I couldn't even repair it, because they said to repair it would cost more than the actual hard drive itself, which wasn't worth it. So then I was in a depressed like state, because then anime had become my entire life in an unhealthy way. Like, it was an actual addiction. So to suddenly lose all access to that copium really put me in a slump, especially because around that time I had been going through like some issues at home, and I was moving schools because of said issues at home. So I was really going through a lot, and without that coping mechanism, like, not only did I have a struggle to cope, I had a greater loss of identity, because for the most part of my high school life, scratch that, the whole of my high school life, I was known as that anime guy. So imagine when the anime guy hasn't watched anime in like 2 years, it becomes a whole sense of, who are you if you aren't what people say you are? I mean, it sounds kind of shallow when you say it like that, but I guess that's what it was. It was like, who are you if you aren't what you think you are, and you aren't what people think you are? And like, who was I? So it was that very mentally damaging thing, because I had no one to be. The identity that I had grown up being was just just suddenly gone. And I had no real part of me outside this unhealthy drug obsession that was just anime obsession and anime binging. And that translated very roughly onto my channel for people who actually knew me and could like keep an eye out for the type of content that I was posting. I could only talk about animes that I have already seen prior to the whole damaging hard drive situation. So going back, just go back, look at my channel, right? Look at it right now. Like, just stop this video, go back and look at my channel, and you'll see that aside from Jujutsu Kaisen, a lot of content is very bland, it's very box type, where it's like chapter reviews, and it's not really out there. It's very confined in a space of, oh, everybody already does this, and therefore I have to do it as well. That was the type of content I was making, because at that time, I was not watching anime. I was very unhappy, and I think that's it's honestly one of the reasons why it took so long to reach 100 subscribers, let alone 1,000. Because if people, it felt like people could see through the screen and then see through me and then see that I was just an empty husk speaking into a microphone, which for the longest time I actually was. Like, the only animes I properly had access to was JoJo's Bizarre Adventures and a few here and there, which is why I was able to watch JoJo's like 6 times now, and it was baffling. And then August 2020, I finally got Wi-Fi, and that was like a sign from God saying that maybe your candle can be rekindled, you know? And you know, when you have access to all that anime, like I had access to all this anime because the internet was in the palm of my hand. It felt like I had the Infinity Gauntlet with all of its stones, but even with all of that power, I just felt absolutely empty. I struggled to sit down and like digest every single anime that I watched. Animes had become unbearable to watch to some unknown and annoying degree. I couldn't sit down and watch an anime and be like, I actually enjoy it, like, except for Jujutsu Kaisen, but like, I couldn't sit down, watch an anime and be like, this actually kind of slaps, I kind of enjoyed. Every single anime had become so boring. It pissed me off. I was like, why can't I enjoy this? And the thing is, I could see the appeal. People would like watch anime and be like, oh, this anime is so great, and I could see the appeal, but I couldn't enjoy it at all. You know, it's like when you look at a person, like, look at a girl, right? And then you're like, I can see why people think she's attractive, but she's not attractive to me. I don't find her attractive. There was the same situation with this anime, and it fucking pissed me off so much. You have no idea. It's like, I finally had all this access. I finally had all this anime in the palm of my hand, and I couldn't sit down and watch it. I was just like, this shit's ass. This is boring. Like, seasonal animes were absolutely unbearable. I could barely sit down through the first episode of every single anime I had watched at the time. Well, most of them. So clearly something in me had changed. I just lost my love for anime. When picking up anime, I thought I was going to like relapse into that unhealthy obsession and an addiction. So throughout 2020 and 2021, I was only able to watch like a small hand of animes like Cowboy Bebop, Kakegurui, and Jujutsu Kaisen, and Hokuto no Ken. So compared to what I used to do, that is absolutely insane. So basically 4 animes in 2 years compared to, for example, my peak where I watched 9 anime in 7 days. Clearly something was wrong, and that's when it hit me. That's when I realized that I actually had a burnout. I had finally burnt out of all animes that I've watched, and I couldn't get out of it. That was a proper slump that I never thought would ever happen to me, because growing up 2016, I was like, I love anime with my entire soul. There's no ways I could ever give it up, no matter what. And then here I am, I'm like, fuck anime, bro. I do not want to do this shit. I don't want to watch it. I don't want to make content on it. Just fuck anime in general. Like, at that point in my head, I was like, anime was a mistake. You know that whole meme? It blew me away. So something was definitely wrong. And after realizing that I had been burnt out, I realized, what does that mean for my YouTube channel? Because my YouTube channel is an anime YouTube channel. But then I realized I can't let it die so young, because at the time I probably hadn't hit like 100 subscribers, let alone 500, let alone where we are right now at 1,000. So I had a goal, and I wanted to strive for it no matter what, even if it meant pumping out content that I completely wasn't feeling at all. Like these godforsaken chapter reviews. I fucking hate it. I enjoy reading manga in my spare time, but I don't like talking about it. Let alone do I like sitting down and listening to someone else talk about a chapter. Like maybe if I was in a rush and I've really fallen behind, then I will watch a chapter review on a YouTube channel. But in general, I don't like hearing, I don't care what you have to say about the channel. And I thought people thought the exact same thing for my channel. I thought that translated it onto my channel where people don't really care what I have to say about my channel, you know, or what I have to say about the chapter. Maybe they were probably going through the same situation of they fell behind and now they need to catch up, and that's why they're watching my type of content. That's the only reason why I thought somebody would ever go onto my YouTube channel and then watch my content. So at that time, it was me just trying to find a way to squeeze myself into the YouTube algorithm, and that shit made me so fucking miserable. The only content I actually enjoyed were the chapters where I voice acted like my content, and some content here and there like the Jujutsu Kaisen's Sukuna vs Gojo video. But I noticed that the videos I enjoyed creating the most didn't perform as well compared to the content that I hated making. And I noticed most YouTubers have this kind of realization that the content you don't try hard to create is the type that performs well than the content you actually sit down and put effort into making, which really puts a lot of YouTubers in a slump. But I'm not talking about them, I'm talking about me in this situation, and that was the case with me. Content that I really put effort into making were content that didn't really do well, except for the Yuji versus Yuta and the Muscular versus Izuku. Those are the only two videos where I actually tried for them and they performed well, to date being my best performing videos with both over 20,000 views. So clearly I realized something is wrong, right? And I realized that to such a degree that I even planned to just walk away completely from my YouTube channel, just throw it into a coffin, put the nail in there. And actually I was very close to doing that, because I thought, if I don't enjoy making the content, why would other people enjoy watching the said content? And at that point I was like, you know what, you're right, just walk away from this channel, put the nail in the coffin. Then it hit me. Then I actually realized I should just do what the fuck I want. If I enjoy it, then why should I care how well it performs, you know? Let those people who want to enjoy it actually enjoy it and support what they want to support. Then I finally, after a long time, after like 2021, I finally got a 2 terabyte hard drive once again, which means I could rekindle my love, which means I could basically turn back, and that's exactly what I tried. So after getting the hard drive, I immediately, without hesitation, downloaded every single anime that I had already watched, which I loved and which like made me love anime in general, right? So animes like Akame ga Kill, Kill la Kill, Assassination Classroom, Plastic Memories, Noragami, and many more. I'm not just gonna list them all down, but I sat down and I watched all of these old animes that I love. This was like me reconnecting with lost loves, or me reconnecting with somebody you haven't seen in years. I mean, basically that's what it was. I hadn't seen these people in years, and it just hit me with that dopamine rush. I immediately fell in love all over again, and I was like, yo, this is where my love was, this is where my love is, and this is where it's always been. So I just realized that newer anime just did not do it for me, but those old animes that I fell in love with at first, absolutely, that's the good shit. That was the dopamine. That was that, you know, that strong sniff. That was a strong sniff of dopamine, and that's what I realized. I finally figured out how I'm going to approach this entire YouTube channel, like from here onwards, as well as just how I overcame burnout. I finally got in touch with the parts of my past that rekindled this flame to begin with, in hopes that they would rekindle the flame. Because I mean, if I could watch JoJo 6 times and feel the dopamine rush every single time I watched it, surely I could do the same for shorter animes if they just gave me that same dopamine hit, right? And it actually worked. I overcame my burnout, and I'm happy to say that from here onwards, for the rest of 2022 and hopefully onwards, I will make content that I want to, on animes that I want to talk about, not just because they're popular or anything, but just because genuinely I enjoyed watching them and they had an impact on me, whether it be physically, psychologically, or emotionally. And I will be using this platform as basically my venting area, my personal experiences with said animes, rather than just giving a bland review on, oh, this character was like, that's not what I'm going to be doing from here onwards. I'm just going to be talking about how I was affected by certain animes, instead of doing the generic thing that has plagued the majority of the anime community. That's a different rant for a different day. Anyways, so from now on, expect to get more consistent content, as well as genuine like content on animes that I want to talk about. So that means, this is a disclaimer, like, if you don't want to hear about older animes and you only want to hear about newer animes and such like stuff like that, feel free to unsubscribe. I will happily restart the journey of growth from like 0 subscribers to 1,000 again if this time it means I can finally be happy doing what I actually want to do. So if you feel like you don't want to stick around with that and you only want me for my content and not my personality, then you're free to unsubscribe. But then again, I will hate to see you go, right? I hate to see you go, but I hope in the future we can meet again on this Biscord YouTube channel as friends rather than just I'm a content creator and you're just a viewer. That said, this video is basically just a rant, me just talking about my past experiences with anime and burnout. And it's also a message to my future self. If you ever feel that burnout again and you just lose that passion once again, just rewatch this video. You'll never forget when I posted this video because this video has been posted on New Year's. So just watch this. You overcame burnout once, now you know how to do it again. And this video is also me talking to you as a viewer and just pledging to be more honest with the content that I create. I will try my best to have more consistent content, not just for you but for me as well. I am also I just want to make it clear that at the end of the day, I am the priority of my YouTube channel. This is my channel and therefore it's me talking about what I want, and I will not be forced to do something I don't want to do. But if you enjoy what I do, then I'm glad to have you here, because while I am the priority, I do still at the end of the day make content for you all, right? Because I have the need to be able to feel happy with what I do, if that makes sense. I need to be able to make content that I feel genuinely excited and happy to do. And for those people who experience burnout as well, whether it be anime burnout or content burnout or burnout of any kind, I hope this video can help you in some way. This is just how I got through it, just revisiting the old love that I had rather than trying to force myself to consume new media when clearly I'm not vibing with it. And I hope that just works. Plus, this video is also me trying to announce that at the end of the day, I will be I will be diversifying my content. So I won't be solely an anime YouTube channel. I'll be doing ranting videos. I'll be discussing games, news, like recent news, movies, TV shows, and playing video games. Literally just doing anything and everything that I want on this channel from here onwards. Just because I want to be a variety content creator on this YouTube platform and doing, again, whatever I want, just like the YouTubers that I look up to, like Penguin Zero or some ordinary gamers. Now, if you made it this far, thank you very much just for sitting down and listening to what I have to say. A lot of people don't do that anymore. Viewer retention is absolutely low, but I guess that's the case with a lot of anime YouTube channels. And just thank you once again for listening to all that I have to say, getting to know me for me rather than me for whatever face I have to put on for this YouTube channel. My channel's a bit dead right now, so any support that you give me, like making it this far, I absolutely treasure with my entire heart. I know it's weird for me to say this when you can't see my face, but trust me when I say I smile so much from seeing the support that you guys give me that my cheeks actually hurt. And I actually got a new camera, so I might even be doing a face reveal very soon, so look forward to that. And if you aren't subscribed, become a biscuit. It's an inside joke. Check the community tab. Become a biscuit, hit the notification bell so that you guys can be notified every single time I post. I will hopefully be posting weekly now since I am done with high school and I have free time, a lot of it now. And till then, happy New Year's. See you next time. Be ever wonderful. This has been Biscord signing out. Bye.